cybernetic augmentation and genetic modification allow the repair and enhancement of almost any part of a human body. Millions of people jack into virtual worlds every day to work, play, and connect with one another with advanced brain-to-machine technology. Easier access to genetic modification leaves hybrids walking the streets, looking less human every day. However, some can't keep up with the fast-paced changes around them.
Me.
They say that ROMs, now commonplace thanks to Parallax, are leading humans to a place where we can never come back, losing the survival skills that we have relied on for millennia. Relationship organizational managers are compiled with virtual intelligence and can seem human-like in their interactions. But despite the marketing hype, at their core, they are only brainless machines. Organizations, like the Human Revolution, seek to slow the relentless pace of progress, fearing that unchecked technology will make us lose the very things that make us human. High above the rising tension below, a Parallax engineer has blurred the line even further. And with this, humanity's destiny will be altered forever.
Oh, sweet. Alright, it's working. Should be working. Let's get started. There's a few times already, but oh well. Okay, maybe not so sweet. Musty might be a better description. Right now. Look at the GX Ultra Beats headphones. A pair of GX Ultra Beats headphones, ultimate and budget audio and amortizer. You better try them out so you can start crafting your review. They're smart headphones, so you could be able to use them with some things lying around your apartment. Oh, cool. What's in here? This video stream on the front says, mustard half full, spoiled milk, some days past expired. You open the fridge to see a bottle of mustard and a carton of spoiled milk, which has developed an odor. Maybe the spoiled milk has one or more good day on it, maybe. Oh, take the milk. Yeah. Lappy is a bit overloaded. You have an article due tonight, better finish it before bed. The GX Ultra Beats sync to Lappy automatically as you connect to one of the less phonographic feeds. Your best options are usually limited to video game streams, old concert recordings, and live cams of baby animals. YouTube's choice is clear. Lappy speakers feel neglected, but now you have the first-hand experience needed to start actually writing the review. The first part of the work is done, you're so accomplished. rocket/flight. Alright, time to get to work. Out of the way. Let's do this. Selling your soul. Bit by bit. Character by character. Finished. Now to send it off to the editor. There, your big break. Surely your glowing review of GX Ultra Beats is your ticket out of the poverty and into a book deal. Surely. Work is finally out of the way. Time for bed. Or you could read some OK Today and catch up on some news before you sleep.
You're finally awake!
Oh, I guess I'll
I'm honestly not sure why most humans still have such lengthy sleep cycles. It seems rather inconvenient. Are you significantly opposed to cybernetic augments?
What?
Oh, I hope you don't mind. While you were asleep, I had some spare time on my hands, so I reorganized your records and entertainment media using BISAC. Once that was done, I found the cleanliness of your living and workspace to be suboptimal conditions for the long-term performance of my microactuators, so I took the liberty of cleaning the place up a bit. As you awoke, I was attempting to interface and make performance adjustments to your personal computer, but I've run into a bit of a snag.
A snag? How did you get in here in the first place? Forget all that. Tell me what you're doing here or I'm gonna call the cops. Here we go.
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to engage you in any sort of subterfuge, but I tend to ramble on a bit when I'm nervous. I have all the necessary protocols, but I've never actually spoken to another person besides Hayden, until now.
Hayden, you know Hayden Weber?
Well, saying I know Hayden is putting it simply, but yes.
I haven't seen Hayden in over a year. Where is he?
I don't really know. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
Help me. You aren't quite my only hope, but you're certainly the most statistically supported.
Slow down to start from the beginning.
The beginning. Okay. Yes, I can do that. Earlier tonight, Hayden's apartment was assaulted by some persons unknown to me. He seemed frightened, terrified even, and instructed me to escape. I crawled out of a window, and after some deliberation, hurried here. I heard them breaking down the door as I left.
Why am I your best hope?
I ran an algorithm against every contact in Hayden's address book. Based on the combined deductions of personal profile, directness of connection to Hayden, occupational skill, and probable motive, you were the candidate most likely to both be able and willing to help me. And the one least likely to be suspected of doing so.
I've never looked for a missing person, but I could try. Why should I get involved? I haven't seen Hayden in forever. I guess I'll go with the first one.
The numbers don't lie about your investigative skills, but I will admit your total lack of recent successes is worrisome.
We'll see about that.
Don't worry. If Hayden trusted you, I trust you. You're strong-willed and capable. If anything, it's worth trying for Hayden.
Was anyone out for Hayden? Why would they want Hayden?
He is one of the top researchers at Parallax, but there's no way that alone would be enough to get him kidnapped. I suspect it has to do with me.
Because you're a robot. Who are you anyway? What do you have to do with it?
Ah, excuse me. I forgot to introduce myself. I've never had the pleasure of doing so before.
Where's going?
I am Turing.
That's nice.
I know this must sound quite unflattering, but I suppose you could describe me as one of Hayden's experiments. He's currently researching advanced machine intelligence at Parallax. I am a personal side project of his. Exploring true artificial sapience. It's possible that the idea of a sapient machine could scare or tempt an organization into kidnapping him.
Yeah.
Either to stop his research, or to take it and use it for themselves.
How are you different from other ROMs? So chatty, what makes you so special? Tell me more.
A regular ROM has virtual intelligence. They can appear rather smart, even human-seeming when you talk to them. But they're just cleverly programmed to respond to a variety of situations in an organic manner. They aren't in any way self-deterministic. As for myself, much of my code wasn't actually written by Hayden, but rather compiled during my infancy as I learned to interact with the world around me. But despite my ability to self-modify my code, I am afraid to adapt or develop any further without Hayden's guidance. Did he only program me with the illusion of free will?
How would you know one way or the other?
How would you? Hayden once told me that his desire to create artificial life stemmed from his need to find out. But I can't say I have any new insight into the question. How can any of us tell that we aren't just puppets dancing to someone else's will?
I think we're getting a little too...
You're right. I apologize for the tangent.
Was anyone out for Hayden?
I don't know. I'm not certain who would benefit the most from taking Hayden prisoner. Admittedly, Hayden has become increasingly paranoid as of late, and has warned me to stay alert, but he would never specify anyone I should fear when I asked. It's not as though he has any obvious enemies. There are several multinational corporations that could make use of his engineering skills, but I can't imagine any of them would go as far as snatching him.
Well then, I guess we should get started.
Indeed, time is of the essence. I took the liberty of charging the AutoCab fare from here to Hayden's apartment to your personal finance account, and the car has just a...
I can totally afford that. Lead the way. Why not go to the police? They might be able to help. Bobblehead, I'll help, but...
My head does not bobble, thank you very much. In addition, I would not expect you to help me without fair compensation. I assure you, there is a story here. Whether you are good enough to find it or not is up to you. I hope you are, for Hayden's sake.
Alright, lead the way. Why not go to the police? They might be able to help.
No, we can't. One of the last things Hayden told me was to avoid the authorities. We must be cautious about who we inform of this.
Alright.
My calculations show that the possibilities of a leak are dangerously high.
Okay.
Corruption, despite being a challenge to public trust as well as cohesion of departmental policies, is still a possibility to consider. If it becomes public that Hayden has been kidnapped, his life may be put in further danger. His chances of escape would surely decrease. We must keep this to ourselves for now, please. That's strange. Well, the door for our home seems to have already been repaired. I'm certain my audio sensors picked up the sounds of his assailants breaking the lock.
Perhaps a maintenance robot took care of it. You might have misheard. You were busy running right now.
It's possible. Most of the repairs to the building are handled by the automated systems. At best, it means someone is aware there's a situation here. Let's proceed carefully. Oh, a lucky break! It seems my access codes still work. Hayden's door has far better security than yours does.
We shouldn't disturb any evidence. Just in case we need to get the girl, just be careful. You made your point about this door. Let's just doesn't look like there is much else going. Are you
I'm not surprised. Hayden is not the most physically intimidating of individuals. I doubt he could have fought off a serious assault. I should have stayed and tried to protect him.
Aren't you programmed against hunting humans?
Of course not. How silly. To make a machine intelligence truly self-deterministic, it must be able to... Any sapient worth their silicon would be able to code around such an inhibitor eventually. I could rip your arm off right now if I cared to.
Let's not do that. Comforting turning, why don't we?
I won't for the same reason you don't go around randomly killing people.
Oh, darn.
The social contract, as a useful construct, is just as apparent to me as it is to you. It simply isn't acceptable to go on a murderous rampage.
Glad we're clear on that one.
Self-defense and defense of one's home and family is typically allowed, though. I could have and may even have been obligated to come to Hayden's defense. But
We did the right thing by escaping. What's done is done. We need to focus on finding him. Let's go.
Excellent point. Let's start searching for clues.
Alright. Busted. We must have dropped him in this skirmish. We must smother it.
That's Hayden's computer. Most people just use a hand screen or goggles in conjunction with their ROM, but desktop rigs like this are still more suitable to the intensive programming tasks Hayden needs to perform.
Do you know how to get in? There might be
Unfortunately, no, I don't. And before you ask, I don't think I would be able to break past its security in any reasonable length of time.
Why not? You have my doors doing that.
Your door used a much simpler set of algorithms with a much weaker processor. I actually have a bit less free processing power than a regular ROM, despite my powerful CPU. Much of those extra clock cycles are used to maintain my complex personality algorithms.